This is Dr. Earl. I am excited to continue our discussion about our gut reset program. This video is designed to take you from activation to follow-up. We've already talked about discover and getting all the information, sorting out what's really causing your issues, and this is designed to take you from there to where we follow up and continue to resolve your issues as the treatment progresses. First, thank you for your trust. We really are in it to win it. We want to put you in control of your health. We've looked at so many different perspectives and really have come to what we have researched out and found to be root source healing. We know that's a combination of something chemical, something mechanical, and something energetic. And we're constantly revising and upgrading and improving this program so that you get the best results. That's our main goal, is to give you the best results we can possibly give you. This is our comparison sheet. Many of you have seen this. And again, just to review, I really want to focus on the areas treated. We really focus on 12 areas to treat. And many of these other programs either don't list areas or they treat just a few of these very critical areas in order to help resolve your symptoms. And if we don't go after all of the areas, they've been compromised as well, and you just have incomplete healing. It really is a travesty. Many of you have seen this sheet. This is the main flow, if you will, of your gut reset plan and path. So you know where you're at as far as your treatment programs are concerned. As I mentioned, many will have already gone through the discovery phase. We've got your intake form, we've collected your blood, urine, and stool, and we've performed an AO scan. If these are still scheduled, that's fine as well. Sometimes we will actually do an AO scan, a results and activation on the same day. Again, there's not necessarily a rigidity to this. Rigidity, yes, that word. But more of a flow, and we can certainly flow back up and down. There's no issues as far as that's concerned. And as you can see here again are the 12 different areas that we really go after in order to get you well. So with that, let's focus on these pieces that we have from that trifold where you can track your wellness. And really want to point out some things that are important, different from our program. We do have repeating programs that repeat. There's 6 months, there's 12 months. We're working on a premium program that repeats and rotates even faster than this. That said, these programs are very important. We'll talk later as to why we break this down into 6 month and 12 months programs. But a lot of it has to do with these 12 different components. If we were try to get all of these components well at once, it can be very difficult. It's hard on your body. We really have to go after each of these components and I say individual, we couple them up as much as we can. There's some of these that are very synergistic together, and we've used that synergy to your benefit. Okay, it may take several rounds. Just because you see 6 month or 12 month programs doesn't mean that you're going to be completely better in 6 months. There are so many pieces. We'll talk about some of those pieces and in different problems, if you will, challenges that may necessitate longer programs. And again, if you look back at this sheet, the time to complete, ours is between 9 and 36 months. It can take a while. We have a lot that get well early on. Just depends upon how you are responding to the treatments, the diseases that are involved. Again, we'll get more complete discussion about that as we go on. The Gut Institute, by far one of the best programs I looked at. They said plan on being with us for 3 years, or maybe even 4. The difference is that every 6 months they charge you an additional $8,000 to $20,000 depending upon the program that you're on. We do not. You do need to maintain the supplements, and there is an ongoing activation charge, which we've discussed in our pricing video. After the initial 6 months, that just allows us to keep you in programs and systems and your files updated, etc. All right. Please don't expect perfection immediately. We'll talk a little bit more about how to use IVs, neural resets, PEMF, etc. Again, this is your checklist, so please be sure to use it to your advantage. Let's start with the activation, the purple piece there. So typically you've sent in your labs, we have those results, we have your ACE-O scan, we've compared those to not only each other and your intake, but we've also compared that to the 7 triggers of all disease. And we understand what those core triggers are. I do have a lot of patients that come in after we give them the activation and they say, what is it? What do I have? And if you would like, I can give you a laundry list of diagnoses. Be that everything from infectious disease, COPD. I mean, the list goes on and on, all kinds of different labels that we can put on you, but that really doesn't help you. If you understand the triggers, what's really causing the disease, and we start going after that, that makes the difference. And I would say that one of the other key pieces with this video is that there is a lot of information in this video. So when we start to talk about your results and activate your process, your program to help get you well, there is so much information that's thrown at you. So please, I'm going to please one more time, 3 times please, review this video again and again. It has a lot of information. And might I add that 90% of the questions that we see in follow-up are actually covered within this video. So we will get all of your labs. They will include critical lab values. They'll give us some LabCorp values. Some values will come from the kits that you received, where we look at your GI map, your foods, your allergies, your neurotransmitters, just a lot of information, depending upon the lab choice that you made. We'll get those results back and we'll be able to tailor and change your program based on those needs. If you haven't reviewed our pricing and value program, our video, feel free to review that. Most of you should have seen this by the time you're seeing this video, but if not, review that video and you'll see that really putting value, really putting a good, if you will, impact into your health is the best thing you can do for your entire life. I have a patient that recently joined. I mean, he's worked so hard. He made a considerable amount of money, very wealthy, and he has no health to enjoy it. He can't really travel. He can't do a lot of those things. I have a female patient, similar situation. Her and her husband had worked very hard. They had developed very successful businesses, and they actually had started to travel, and then she got ill and was unable to accompany her husband on many of these trips, and it just devastated her as she really enjoyed travel. So health is critical to your enjoyment of life, and really I just encourage you that, 1, you've made a good choice if you've already activated, and 2, if you're thinking about activating, it's the best thing you can do for your life. And I personally will testify to that and just reiterate the fact that my health was so bad, multiple hospitalizations, and several of my organs have tried to die over the years and kill me. And it's just been hard work, and that hard work is paying off in giving you something that not only I've experienced a lot of those, not only the treatments, but the illnesses, and been able to turn those around and really change my life. And I want to share that with you. That's why this is so exciting for me. So after you activate, and sometimes during that visit, you will receive nutrition and exercise instructions, or this may be forthcoming in a video, depending upon which program you've activated. It just depends upon how best we can get that information to you. We will always have the ability to get this in video form and handout form as we continue to develop these processes and really start to educate you on the best ways to take care of your body so that you can recover faster. Nutrition is key, not the most important by far, but it is key as far as getting recovery, and exercise can also be key. You're going to see a hierarchy that may surprise you where these fit as far as your overall health and recovery is concerned. And again, just to reiterate, those instructions should be either delivered on your activation visit or shortly thereafter in either written or video format. Next checklist is to receive your supplement order and prescription. Now, there are a lot of natural clinics out there that provide. They have a lot of supplements right in their clinic. There are several reasons why I did not do that. The main reason is because, just like me, these companies are constantly modifying, changing, upgrading, or coming out with new products that are absolutely amazing. Excuse me. And when those products come out, well, if you've got stock on the shelf, the reality is you want to get rid of that stock. And so you might sell product that's a little older, close to going out of date, etc. And that brings up another really valid point. Many of these supplements go out of date, and we end up throwing a lot of those away. That's not fair to us as a clinic. And by doing it this way, where we actually send you an email and you're able then to order your supplements, it's extremely convenient. It shows up at your home. And for us, it makes a difference that we can, instead of recouping a loss because of stocking supplements and throwing them away, and again, all the effort that goes into stocking supplements, we're able to pass that savings on to you rather than increasing costs. And so it's a big deal. What happens is usually around the 15th of each month, either I or the case manager or the practitioner in charge of your care will go into whatever companies you have activated, and we'll send that out. The idea is to do it about the middle of the month so that you have time to order, they have time to ship, and it will show up to your home in order for you to start this the first of the month. And now, this is a key point. The idea is to get the order in, not start right away, start at the first of the month. This makes it simple so that when you call in, when you have questions, etc., we have a pretty good idea of what program you're on, because you started at the first of the month, rather than some people being at the 10th and the next being at the 20th, and etc. We'll know, and there are a variety of programs and a lot of customization that goes on with this. And so, but if everyone starts at the first of the month, it really helps us from that standpoint. Now, I will say this: when you start the program, which is likely when you're first watching this video, if you start the program, excuse me, in the middle of the month, that's okay. Likely what's going to happen is I'm going to want you to continue that program for the next month. And there are patients, because of how sick they are, that I actually request that they continue the program for several months until their bodies are, the starter program, I should say, for several months until their bodies are strong enough and able to handle the changes that are going to happen. Because anything from detox to getting rid of infection, and the list goes on, that changes your body. It requires your body to do some work, and sometimes your body's not ready to do that for the first few months. So we'll customize this based on how sick you are, other concurrent diseases, illnesses, those type of things. And you'll also note there are many patients that receive 2 different supplements. For example, I have a patient that's not only doing the gut reset, but we've customized a program where she's doing the neural reset as well, or the neural restore, excuse me. And so she actually gets 2 separate orders. One that's her standard gut reset protocol, and the other additional protocol that's going on. I have other patients that have extensive amounts of mold and other illness exposures, and we have them on very aggressive programs, not only, again, the gut reset, but considerable amounts of antifungals and antiparasitics to really help clean up their body in a hurry. One of the complaints, or I guess at least discussion talking points that I do want to address here, is that this is not a silver bullet program. There are 12 different components that we are trying to get well. And those components each require a little something, if you will. There's always a base or a foundation of supplements that you'll receive every month, but then each month we'll rotate through, depending upon what program you're on, we'll rotate through some of these 12 programs. Sometimes it's one at a time, sometimes they're coupled, sometimes they're tripled. It just depends upon how we feel, how we feel getting you through this program is best. There are patients that are very aggressive with this, and we put them even through a 3-month rotating program. And as I mentioned, I'm working on a platinum program that rotates even faster than that. So it just depends upon where you're at as far as your supplement journey. And the idea is to receive your orders middle of the month. Sometimes that's a little early, sometimes it's a few days late. Later than the 15th, depending upon where it fits into the week. But the idea is that you'll receive those supplements with enough time that you can order them, receive them, and be ready to go by the first of the month. All right, so let me show you what that order typically looks like. This, again, everyone maybe have a little bit different, but these are some of the basics. So you'll receive an email that looks similar to this. This is your practitioner, and that may change depending upon who your practitioner is. That may stay me, even if you're seeing someone else. One thing to note right here is this is and then in quotes, it will have the program that you are on. Some will be on the platinum, some on the gold, some on the silver, some on the Simple Amazing. There will be some that will be completely custom, and I will customize the protocols based on your needs, or your practitioner will, based on your needs. But for the most part, it will have a base as either the starter or the liver reset or what have you. So refer to this when you start to ask your questions. Now, there are some supplements that we can't get through Nutridyne, which is my favorite. We can't get them through WholeScript, which is amazing and excellent as well. Either one of those programs are great. There's quite a few protocols that we get through WholeScript if we need to. But there are some pieces of this protocol that are important that we can't get from those sources. And so as such, I've included a link here for in your email that you can click on, and you can order. For example, one of the key protocols key supplements is this NAD+. This activates your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your body. This cleans up your DNA. This activates your cell membranes, etc. On and on. It's an amazing supplement, but it's not included with some of the other protocols. And so I've added it here for you to click on that and add that. The next is vitamin C. This vitamin C is the world's greatest vitamin C. I've done a copious amount of research into vitamin C. It's one of my favorite vitamins because it's so diverse in its effects. This vitamin C is also great because you can take larger amounts without having a lot of the side effects. Now, there are patients who take really large amounts of vitamin C, be that if they're trying to detoxify or get rid of cancer or what have you. And this is a vitamin C that can handle that protocol. In most cases, by the time you get above 2 grams, so that's 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C, it will activate a reflex system in your body where you'll actually push out all of your stool in a rapid manner. It's a great laxative, if you will, but this vitamin C is different. Most of that vitamin C that you take that's from other sources, only a portion of that is actually absorbed. In fact, the number is 50%. And by the time it gets to the liver, the liver breaks down 80% of that gets absorbed. So you really are getting a tenth of what you take in vitamin C, unless you take a vitamin C that's buffered for the stomach and has attachments, if you will, and processes where it's absorbed nearly 100%. It's first passed through the liver, cleans off some of those metabolites, if you will, and you get a large amount of vitamin C by taking this vitamin C. How much vitamin C is really necessary? Well, if you look at the FDA's program and what they envision, it's very, very low. They simply want to keep you from getting scurvy. But if we put into context that humans, humans, guinea pigs, and some bats are the only mammals that do not make incredible amounts of vitamin C, then our number that we need for optimization is much, much higher. For example, a little tiny poodle, most dogs running around make 5 grams, that's 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C every single day. A goat makes 13 grams every single day. And if a goat gets sick, it can make up to 150 grams of vitamin C in a day. So increasing and developing and taking a lot of vitamin C it is important, especially if you're looking at optimizing your health. And vitamin C, again, helps with detoxification, your immune system, actually helps with your adrenals and stress, and the list goes on and on and on. There is a video on this website as well for you to review if you'd like to see that. Now, there may be some other medications listed here. One that I like is Link and Optimend. There may be, and that's LANQ. That has butyric acid in it. It is the preferred food source of the lining of your gut. And if we want to get that lining healthy, we feed it its preferred food source. Butyric acid also helps with nerve function and your immune function. It's, again, a very powerful supplement. And so I include those links in the comment section, if you will, above. This typically, I've chopped this up, but this typically then continues to just run down the email, and so you'll start to see listed the different supplements that I recommend. These, for the most part, are listed to take according to the labels on the bottle. However, if I want to make some specific instructions, now this is very important. If I want to make some specific instructions, I will place them here in this email. You may not see them anywhere else. So once your supplements arrive, you can refer back to the email that you ordered them from, and you will find the instructions and how I prefer those to be taken. Well, and again, just continuing on down that email, and then you click order. This will then take you to a website, depending upon whole scripts, full scripts, Nutridyne, full scripts, etc. And you'll then be able to process the order, put in your shipping information, etc. And then the next time it'll be set up and it will flow much easier. This is probably one of the areas that we get most of the questions on. Is the ordering, the receiving, and starting the supplements. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, I mentioned some patients will be on additional programs. So not only the gut reset program, but they'll be on a fungal additive program or a neural additive program. And what will happen is both those emails will go out at the same time, roughly the same time. And it's not uncommon for many email servers to stack those one on top of the other. So make sure that if you see 2 order buttons, you understand that you're supposed to take both orders that month. Very important that you understand that. This is also some very important information that I receive a lot of different questions about. Yes, this is one of my more boring slides, but it really includes some critical information. So I ask that, once again, you pay a lot of attention to this. How long is this going to take? Most of the patients, depending upon how sick they are, it will last between 10 and 36 months. Some patients respond very, very quickly to this. Others take a little bit longer, and that really is determined, as we can see the list down below. Why does it take that long? How long have I been sick for? And how long has the illness been going on? The extent of the infiltration. Biofilms play a huge role in your ability to recover from different disease. What are biofilms? Well, over the millennia, or however you have it, these different infections, bacteria, parasites, fungi, have discovered the ability to conglomerate together and make the equivalent of a snot ball, if you will. Sorry, that's not very attractive. but that's essentially what a biofilm is. And then that biofilm protects them from a lot of the environmental, chemical, and energy frequencies that come through that area. A perfect example of a biofilm is a mildew, if you will, or sometimes you'll see them in pipes, different pipes, water pipes, and you'll see this slimy, discolored growth, if you will. Those are biofilms. Interestingly enough, the plaque on your teeth is a biofilm. It's a way that the body can protect itself. Sometimes, like the plaque in your teeth, it will incorporate other metals. The plaque in your teeth uses calcium and other things. And that's how it protects itself from whatever comes its way. Well, these biofilms can be very, very resistant. And so if you have biofilms both inside and outside your digestive lumen, and yes, they prefer to get outside that digestive tract and set up in outer areas in what we call the peritoneum, the inside gap, if you will, between all of your organs that are in your abdomen. They love to set up there. And if they're there, it will take us longer to get rid of them, but it will happen. Concurrent illness, continuing on down the list, concurrent illnesses can also delay the recovery time. And frankly, the body's ability to recover and repair. This often is compromised by the length of time that the illness has been present. So the other thing, and we're just going to jump back up here, is this sometimes takes a little longer because we are resetting entire systems. Now, when I say longer, keep in mind that if you go to many programs, they chase symptoms. And what I've discovered through my research is that once the gut is compromised, almost all of these 12 components over here to the right are also compromised. The microbiome is out of balance. You have leaky gut. You've got food allergies, chemical sensitivities. There are heavy metals and toxins in your system. You have bacterial, fungal, parasite, and viral overgrowth. Your liver is not just stressed, it's in a level of dysfunction. You have fatty liver, and the nerves that control what happens in your gut, and everything from peristalsis, which is the motivation, if you will, the movement of the stool through your intestines, that's all been compromised, all of it, to some degree or another. So rather than chase symptoms, if we start to go after this system as an entire process, you get better faster. Most of the programs that we referred to above are much, much slower than this program because we go after these 12 components, the entire system at once. This is a critical note. It just is a critical note. By the time you notice symptoms of virus, fungus, parasites, and other compromise that's been going on in your body, they have likely been undetected in your system for many, many years, likely decades. Yes, let that soak in. Likely decades. And that means they release neurotoxins, so they are compromising nerve tissue throughout your entire body. They release collagenase that breaks down not just your intestinal lining, but your joints and your back and all of the structures, your skin, all of those structures that are based on collagen will be compromised. In fact, a recent study found that nearly all of the chronic diseases, hypertension, which is high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, strokes, and the list went on, actually are related to these chronic infections of viruses, fungus, and parasites. So something very important that we get on top of. This slide is very simple, but it's, again, very powerful. The reason this is powerful is because if you will take the time to organize your supplements in different boxes, if you will, you'll find that you are much more compliant. So, for example, you can put medication supplements that you just take in the morning in one box. Then you can put supplements that you take twice a day in another box. Often supplements that you take 3 times a day, you're going to want to take with you. So that goes in your pocket, in your backpack, or what have you. Now, one of the other things, I'm going to go back up to here, is that you're going to be receiving a new supplement list each and every month. we're not tackling all of these 12 components all at once. We are going after specific ones each month. Some of the supplements, like the fish oil and the ultrabiotic and actually the GI Restore, we're using GI Integrity now. Some of those will be the same in every order each month. But then there will be pieces that are different as we rotate through trying to get each of these 12 components addressed. So that is very important to understand when you start to organize your supplements. I'm not perfect every day in taking my supplements. And so usually by the end of the month, I have some left over. Well, I'm not going to throw those away. Those are still good. And yet I know at the first I need to start my new program. So instead of throwing everything away, I simply take those leftover supplements, I label them, I put them in a box, and next time I rotate through one of these 6 and 12 month pre-teeding programs, next time I rotate through those, I already have some of those supplements. And so when I get ready to order those supplements, I can simply delete them before I do the final order. You have the ability on this order not only to go in and order more product at any time. You can go back to your old email, click order, delete what you don't need, and order additional product. But you can also, again, keep some of those supplements for the next rotation, the next time you're on liver cleanse, or the next time you're on fungus and infection killing protocol. You have some of those supplements to get started with, but also you may not need a full order, depending upon how this goes. And again, these are powerful supplements. And so you may find down the road, after you've been reset, there's things that are out of balance, and you're able to come back to these. They're very good to make sure you keep on the shelf. Okay? This equals success. Organization equals success. This is just one way to do it. There are machines that do it for you. There are pill boxes or pill organizers, if you will. Frankly, I just use a cardboard box because then it's easy just to pack those up, put them away for the month, and be ready to go for my next month. All right, we're going to now continue on to that next box. I'm actually going to refer back to our original slide here, our original checkbox. So we've gone through Discover, we've gone through Activate, and now we're going to talk about continuing and consistency. So the first piece of continuing and consistency is don't expect perfection immediately. Add something every day or every week or however long it takes. This is not a race. If you're on one of the other programs where they're charging you $20,000 every 6 months, it's a race and you want to get on this as soon as possible and make everything work. But again, I want the long play, meaning I want to get you well that lasts and is durable for a long period of time. And one of the worst things I can do is stress you out so much at first that it raises your cortisol. Cortisol is extremely detrimental to gut health in most situations. Some not, but in most situations, if your cortisol is high from a variety of different sources, including stress of this new crazy program that you've gone on, you're not going to do well, and it's very challenging. And so as you add yoga, exercise, supplements, and you're starting to really look at how to do this, you're putting in your IVs into your schedule, etc., just relax, take your time, add and do what you can. Very important that you add and do what you can. Okay. This is the piece of the video where I talked about I'm going to list in order of importance what you need to implement. This is critical information. So if you start thinking, what am I going to implement right off the bat? This is it. There are 12 steps to this. And I will tell you right up front, you don't need to have all of these in order to get completely well. But the more that you implement, especially starting with some of these first ones, the more that you implement, the faster you're going to get well. So the first to prepare is accurate discovery. So we've already done that. Intake, AO, labs, physical examination. All of those are critical to find out what's really going on in your body. discover the triggers and go after those triggers. Second is superior gut supplements. Now, why is this before exercise and diet? Everyone talks about exercise and diet, but here's the harsh reality. First, most of our nutrition, most of the things that we receive through the supermarket, even if we buy organic and do the best we can, the reality is most of that is nutrient deficient. They're not looking to increase nutrition, which includes terpenes and different flavonoids, and the list goes on, phytonutrients, all of these components that really provide super nutrients to your body, the vitamins, the minerals. They want it to look pretty and they want it to fill a shelf. And that's unfortunate, but that's the reality. And so even if you get the perfect diet, you're going to be missing supplements. In fact, they've shown that the perfect diet, most people who have a perfect diet still have major gaps in their nutrition. So the first piece is superior reset supplements. The second piece of this is the fact that the reality is if fungus and parasites have been in your body for a number of years, and it only takes a few years, sometimes I've seen patients get sick within a matter of 6 months or less, with fungus and parasites. And if they are in control, they have taken your body hostage. And if you do not get rid of that fungus and parasites and cure the leaky gut with superior supplements, you're going to be chasing your symptoms until you get so frustrated you can't see straight. Getting rid of infection, which includes virus, fungus, parasites, sealing your leaky gut. These are fundamental pieces to true recovery and true reset of your gut. And if you don't, you're going to be chasing it. That's just the reality. And that 3-year program turns into 6, and by then you're frustrated and you're done. And we've got to be focused on this early, often, and repetitively. Especially if you remember those biofilms, because they are masters at camouflage fungus parasites. And the viruses are too. Chickenpox virus, for example, actually hides its sequence into the nerves of your body. And then when it's reactivated years down the road, it shows up as shingles. So again, masters of camouflage, and we have to do all we can to get them out of your body. The second most piece is fasting. Now, there are some patients that we really have to be careful how long they fast, how they start fasting, different pieces, and all kinds of creative ways that we can do this. Here's the key piece with fasting. Most of the bacteria, fungus, and parasites, now less so the parasites, but definitely the bacteria and somewhat the fungus that's in your system, they really can only survive for about 20 minutes without food. That sounds crazy, but it's true. Many of these reproduce every 20 minutes. And so if there's not constant food in your system, they die off. Well, your body's developed an amazing ability. Remember these cells that line your stomach. Actually, they're the same cells that line your lung, so that's not as much of a faux pas as you think. But these cells have developed an amazing ability where they will select out the good bacteria and help feed them during those fasting states. And so again, and then the bad bacteria and etc. just kind of sloughs off with the stool. So you're able to change your gut microbiome much, much, much faster. Yes. 3 emphasis of the much faster. So fasting can be really, really important. If you have problems fasting, difficulty fasting, those type of things, we can work with you and get your body to the point where it can handle a little bit of fasting, and hopefully even longer. At 72 hours, your immune system starts to reset. You start to go through something called autophagy. That's actually where your body recycles some of the old, sick, or dysfunctional cells and uses those to fuel your body as it moves forward. This is something that a single cell organism cannot do, but your body has the ability to do that. And again, it's very powerful, cleaning out your body either of toxins or sick cells or precancerous cells, and the list goes on and on and on. Very exciting from that standpoint as far as its ability to help get you well. Okay, next is hyperthermia. Hyperthermia is where you get into a hot bathtub and you raise your temperature. There's going to be some additional information in this, but you raise your temperature and you try to get your body temperature to 102. Why that number? And again, please don't just do this. Make sure you get some instruction and you titrate, meaning you very slowly increase the temperature over the period of weeks to where you can tolerate this. But hyperthermia has a very powerful reason that it needs to be used. And that's that it cleans out your DNA. When your DNA, which is a very fragile molecule, starts to get hot, it has the potential to break down. Well, your body understands that DNA very critical to your function and survival. And so it's created these molecules, they're called heat shock molecules, and they actually wrap around and envelop your DNA and protect it from the heat so that you're able to protect, and this is, what fevers do. And again, the reason our bodies have developed the ability to spike fevers is so that we clean out the infections, but in particular the DNA. And so this is a way that you can help get rid of viruses that have built up in your system. And then as the temperature comes down, those heat shock proteins are opened back up, and your DNA functions better than it has if you haven't done the hyperthermia. Depending upon the program that you've purchased or where you're at as far as that's concerned, there may be some hyperthermia options within your package as well. For women only, best breast health. So we talked about the cortisol being a key piece of your overall health. Well, women, through their breast tissue, have this superpower, and that is the ability to release oxytocin. Oxytocin, it may not be the most powerful hormone in the body, but it is the most superior hormone in the body, meaning all of the other hormones come into line as oxytocin is released, especially if it's released on an ongoing basis. So everything from your and yes, women make testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, etc. All of those come online much better using the breast health techniques that we teach here at Denali. But more importantly, and specifically for gut health, your cortisol comes online and actually will drop significantly. Your depression, your anxiety is actually helped significantly with oxytocin. Very powerful tool at balancing out your hormones that play a big role in gut health. Next, supercharged meditation and stress reset. We've actually developed a tool where we stack all of these different components into a very unique process so that you can get into deep meditation and get into those cortisol releasing techniques in a very rapid fashion. Very powerful. It's a lot of fun. And as you go on, you'll actually get your time that it requires lower and lower. Most people can actually do this reset within 20 minutes. And think about that. If you were able to get all of the benefits from a deep meditative state in 20 minutes, wouldn't that be awesome? And it is. It's really awesome. A lot of benefits have been proven for that. And that is, again, a big piece of that energy component. Remember, we talked about energy, chemical, and mechanical. That's a big piece of the energy component as far as reducing your stress. Next is a vibration plate. If you haven't heard of these, they're very common. Vibration plates, basically you stand on them. Anyone can do these. It's people who are paraplegic or what have you. They put their arms, their legs on these vibration plates and get significant benefit. This, for someone who can't exercise, etc., can be key because all you have to do is really stand and your muscles get a workout. But more importantly, your lymphatic system is drained of toxins. Your immune system is activated. And those muscles that are activated sometimes, and in most cases, can be connected to energize your gut, which is an energy component to helping you reset your digestive system. Pulse electrical magnetic field therapy, PEMF, PEMF, some people call this. This is actually technology out of NASA. Now, again, I'm always looking for new products, be that vibration plate, new and improved ways to get these technologies to you. So I won't really talk about which products I recommend right now, at least in this video, because it may be changed by the time you hear this video. But pulse electrical magnetic field is the therapy that replaced the multi-billion-dollar space shuttle program. You see, For all those years, they had to go up and retrieve the astronauts every 3 months, or they had such severe bone, muscle, and nerve wasting, and additional issues, but they really focused on bone, muscle, and nerve wasting, that they never recovered if they were up for longer than 3 months. Well, through lots of study through the space programs here, Russia, the French, and even the Italians were involved. They discovered that there is this electromagnetic pulse, a field that is generated by the Earth. We don't feel it, appreciate it most of the time, but it is actually what's responsible for making sure that our nerves, bones, and muscles grow the right way. And the reality is our immune systems and. Absolutely amazing technology, something that you want to try to get into once a day. Next is our IV nutrition. We have our drip room here at Denali. Fantastic tool as far as accelerating your healing. Now, you can just take the supplements, and that's fine, and you will do really well on our program. But if you want to accelerate your program, you can come and do our IV nutrition. And depending upon the program that you purchased, some of these IVs will be included in an initial purchase. They'll be a part of a gift, if you will, depending upon your program. So, in all urgency, take advantage of these. You can do them multiple times a week. I wouldn't recommend spreading them more than a few times a month, so every other week. And optimal is 1 to 2 times a week. I actually do mine once a week, and it's amazing. And again, everything from detox, etc., activating your immune system and so forth. The key is that instead of having those nutrients go through your diseased gut, which is often inflamed and not absorbing correctly, this goes directly into your bloodstream, which is then made instantly available to any cells who need it. Drips or RIP, this is a protocol where we can actually activate your stem cells at an extremely accelerated rate. We're working on coupling this with some very powerful, again, chemical tools. This is a mechanical tool that releases chemicals, etc. Again, a very powerful tool that can be used to activate stem cells everywhere in your body. And very powerful as far as getting your body to reset. But again, look where it's at. Before this, we need to make sure we're taking care of all of these different pieces, because activating stem cells, if they're sick or your body is still toxic or you're not getting the nutrients you need for the stem cells really to be stimulated, it's down there a ways, which is very interesting. Okay, exercise, yes, number 10. And everyone talks about diet and exercise, but exercise is number 10. It does release lactic acid. It builds your muscles. It builds your stamina, all these different pieces for it to help you recover faster. Lactic acid, actually, your parasites and your fungi do not like lactic acid, so this is very important from that standpoint. But again, it's number 10, and the research proves it. Diet, several key diets you can choose from. There's the Mediterranean, low-carb paleo or keto. I really like a paleo. It's kind of makes sense. There's a whole foods diet that I don't really include here, the Mayo diet. And again, depending upon your program, we're working on combining some of these into a very specific Denali diet that is amazing. And last, Renua 2 neural injections. So these are injections that don't go more than a half centimeter into the stomach, the wall of the stomach, and we place them strategically where the nerve tips are at in the stomach, and then that has resultant changes in the nerve tissue throughout your entire body. Again, can be very powerful depending upon what your body needs, but I would recommend many of these others before we start looking at that. And then again, depending upon your program, some of those may be included. Okay, so I talked a little bit about this earlier, but we are going to re-emphasize that every month you get a new focus. You get a new focus of treatments through your supplements. Some of them will be the same each and every month, because those are the gold standards to heal the leaky gut, start to repair some of those systems, and the processes that have been compromised over the years. And then we add to that very specific components so that we can address each of, and yeah, there's 12 programs in here, so I'm going to go back, but we can address each of these 12 processes as you rotate through the different supplement programs each month. Okay. Yeah, I am. I'm going to say it one more time. They'll come out, you usually get your orders middle of the month. That gives you time to order, receive, and then start them the first of the month. If you receive 2 orders, make sure you click on both. It means you're on a combined program and or a customization program. Make sure you click on both and get all of the items that were listed in your program. There is education and information that's sent out each month. Some will come in the way of an email, others in education videos. And please make sure that you review those each month. They should have some critical education information that will help you continue not only your knowledge building, but also your success in your gut reset. Please, 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 please feel free to follow up with Denali. Surveys, emails, give us a call, make visits, all of those things. You're entitled, depending upon your program, to a certain number of follow-up visits. There really is not much of a limit on emails, phone calls, etc., depending upon your needs. Usually, if it's something that you just have a general question about, we hope that you'll email. But if it's something that needs a more urgent attention, if you will, feel free to call or text. And if it's an emergent issue, go to the emergency department. Please don't sit around and wait for us to respond and you've got something that you're really concerned about. Go to the emergency department and they can sort some of that out. Often we're asked, which IVs do I need and how often? We've kind of discussed that a little bit, but I'm going to re-emphasize it here. You can do IVs once a week. That's what I do. You can do IVs every other week. It just depends upon how quickly you want to get the benefits from the IVs. Now, one of the other key components, IVs, if you come in and you get an IV and you felt poorly afterwards, please understand that's because your body needed it and you detoxed a little bit. You had a little bit of what's called a Herxheimer reaction. And that is because your body needed to spend all that extra time and effort to get rid of the toxins that the vitamin C and the IV released. Don't give up on the IVs if you feel poorly. About 40% of our patients, when they get an IV, they feel amazing. Then about 30% feel a little poorly afterwards. And then 40% don't notice much of a difference until they're in 3 or 4 IVs. So again, depending upon the program you've chosen, there may be some included IVs. Please take advantage of them. They are absolutely amazing. The next piece is the breast health. You can start that right away. Sometimes that comes with, additional detoxification supplements. Sometimes it's simply the mechanical cleanse, and we teach you how to do that. We also do thermography. That shows areas that are inflamed or otherwise irritated that sometimes we can't pick up on an exam. Yes, we do an exam because it's important to discover where those masses and abnormalities are at. We show you how to clean all that out. And how to get the breast extremely healthy. There are some important side effects, if you will, which is that the breasts actually tend to lift. They tend to fill in. They look healthier. Really tragic side effects. I'm kidding. It's absolutely amazing. The breast tissue is one of the most responsive tissues in the body, and that means it's responsive to toxins, it's responsive to illness, it's responsive to emotion, and all of that can be helped with our breast cleanse program. How often do I follow up? Well, we usually recommend, so again, depending upon your program, you may have a certain number of visits included. Usually we recommend that first month, so about 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks after you start the program, you follow up. If everything continues great from there, then then you can go 2 months after that one. But if you have additional questions, then follow up the next month. You can follow up in every 2 weeks if you want. It really doesn't change much, but usually by the time you get outside of your first month and into the second and easily into the third, the program really starts to make sense and you'll start feeling better. What to expect? Boy, this is often a loaded question, if you will, depending upon what we're trying to do. Now, if you have a lot of parasites and a lot of fungus in your system, there's a chance that you may feel poorly for a little bit. Again, see this through. As we start to kill off and eliminate a lot of these parasites, fungus, and viruses, your body is going to have to clean all of that up. And so sometimes you feel a little bit poorly. And usually in the first month, you'll notice that you feel a little better because we're trying to strengthen your system. But as we progress through this, there will be some weeks, some days where you feel a little poorly. Work it through, get to the other side, and you'll notice that you will feel much, much better. We do have patients that get some cramping and some irritation, have diarrhea, constipation. Again, we're changing so many components of your body, everything from the nerves to the gut lining and leaky gut, which influences your immune system and the immune response and how your body absorbs food. And so all of these changes, as you know, they're going to rotate through, and most of them last a few days, and then away you go as we strengthen your body as it progresses. But the biggest thing, you're going to experience significant body changes, decrease in your inflammation. Many of you will experience weight loss, just changes in how your body moves and feels. You'll notice changes in psychiatry, in your mood, in anxiety, depression, all kinds of different pieces that will make a change in how your body feels. It's exciting. Right now, the last box that's on our checklist, if you will, which is assess, learn, repeat, and so forth. Now, many patients, I would say most, are going to need to repeat the 6-month program. Many need 18 months. Some may need a little bit longer than that, a couple of years, 24 months. But again, we have looked at all of the programs that are available out there. We have really gone to the root cause of what's causing these. We know the 12 components that need to be addressed. We're treating this as a system. And so every piece, including all the way down to cellular health, detoxing your cells, reactivating your cells, all of these critical components are included in this program. And that's so that we can get the best, most complete, and the fastest results. That said, because of how long this has been going on, it may take more than just a few months. Please expect that. So there will become the time when we review your progress. Again, that can be at 6 months, it can be 8 months, it can be 9 months, it can be however you want to do that. We can redo labs and the AO scan, etc. We can look at some changes that need to be made based on that reassessment and then move forward. This program is not designed to have you in it for the rest of your life. Now, there is a maintenance program that should keep everything clean, but this program is not to have you consumed with the rest of your life. This program is designed to get you well, but you're going to have to be consistent, you're going to have to be persistent, and we're going to have the right duration. So think win-win, keep moving forward, keep getting from good to better to best, and we'll reassess and make sure that we are addressing the right things that your body needs. Okay, you got this, and we can help. If you have any questions, concerns, or other issues, please feel free to reach out at any time. I'm excited for you. Genuinely, this program has changed my life, and I've seen it change so many additional lives. Very exciting, very powerful, And again, questions, concerns, give us a call, send us an email. We look forward to hearing from you, and thank you.